The most important part, though, and the role that it plays in terms of current events, not current events, but the significance of it coming up, which makes it a huge news story, isn't just that it's a beautiful fossil, but that it is declared to be, as I mentioned, the missing link. Now, if I've got this right, and we're going to have Fazrana from Reasons to Believe, who's been working overtime on this issue the last week because so many people have been calling about this. I don't know where that came from, but that's not a lemur. He's been working overtime on this. He's going to be on the air at 4 o'clock. That would be our third hour today, and we'll talk for a segment or so a little bit about his take on this, and so you can get a more expert opinion. But the significance here is that this particular individual does not look entirely like other lemurs, though it seems to be closely related. In that lemurs have claws, and this individual had fingernails. And lemurs have a little different type of heel and foot structure than this one, and this one was actually more akin to the hominid line. And this one was missing other things that lemurs normally have. There's an opposing thumb. I know on the foot, I don't know if I guess the hand has it too. And in any event, these are indicators that this might be a bridge from which modern lemurs evolved on the one hand, if you consider the branches of the evolutionary tree here, and then hominids, anthropoids and hominids and eventually human beings evolved on the other branch. So this is really exciting because it seems to suggest a transitional form. In fact, for me to say, it seems to suggest, from the perspective of those who are touting this fossil, would be a wild understatement. It proves, finally, for once and for all, that Darwin was right. So them's the facts in very bare outline form. And like I said, when we talk to Fazrana coming up at the 4 o'clock hour, we will have more detail from him. But I think that's enough to at least lay a foundation here. And I know many of you are thinking, gee, I wonder what Greg's going to say about this. And I'm not sure. Has the Enforcer blogged on this already, Melinda? Melinda, have you blogged on this already? Yeah. So you can find some information there on our blog. Since it's such a new find and very few people have really had a chance to think about it and weigh in on it, it would be premature for me to say very much about it, except to make two observations that might be helpful. And by the way, you can get in the queue here if you'd like to talk with me right when I'm done with my remarks at 1-800-227-5278. And if you're in the 714 area code here in Orange County, Southern California, you can dial direct to 754-4150. We have one person on the line. Lots of room there. So this is actually the best time in the show. That is our new first hour from 2 to 3 to be able to get on board, because people don't know that this hour is available yet. So plenty of vacancy in the first hour. Here are two reflections that I hope will at least put some of this news in perspective. By the way, I'm not the least bit rattled by this information. I don't, it isn't like, oh my gosh, I have to rethink my view. So I just want you to know that in summary form, even though the scientific community is making such a big deal about it. You need to know, by the way, that there are others that are dyed-in-the-wool Darwinists that think that the press has overstepped its bounds in its proclamations here. Proclamations supported and encouraged, apparently, by those on the scientific field who have done the original work on this to begin with. So there's a complicit. They're complicit in this. And other scientists are saying, wait a minute, you're going too fast, too far, and the claims are too extravagant for the amount of evidence that we find. Actually, in the Solid Ground coming up in July, I will have a more thorough treatment of this, and I'm writing it right now, so I'm drawing from some of the research I've been doing the last couple of days to offer you these comments here at the beginning of the show. The first thing that I just want you to notice, and just be aware of this, is that IDA provides no meaningful link to human evolution. the missing link language is very misleading, and I've read evolutionists who have said this too. It's misleading because there is, listen, a 40 million year gap between this Haplorini and the oldest hominid that we know of. One of the very first examples of a primate, or I should say, first hominid, was Lucy. Remember her? Found in Ethiopia in 1974. She was like little more than 3 million years old on evolution, and dated on evolutionary terms. And Lucy was just a little scrawny kind of ape thing that many had thought at the time, I understand that has changed, but had thought at the time was part of the evolutionary heritage or evolutionary line of human beings. Apparently it's now considered maybe just an offshoot and a dead end, but okay, they're working on it. But that's like the first hominid that we have, right around 3 to 4 million years ago. And this particular fossil is 40 million years even before Lucy. So to claim that this is our earliest ancestor that we know of is a little bit reaching, wouldn't you say? I mean, you could pretty much, on evolutionary terms, say that, well, the first, single-celled organism is the missing link. You find that. Anything on the line, you could say, is a link or a missing link. Once it's found, it's no longer missing. So that's the first thing, that IDA provides no meaningful link to human evolution. It may be interesting in terms of what might have developed 47 million years ago. Human beings, by the way, as far as the fossil record is concerned, true humans are only about 100,000 years old. So this is a long way off. And I don't know about you, but when I think of link language, I think of like chain links. So you have one link to another, and there is one link missing, and so you put that link in, and they're all together. And there you got it.